Asamoyi dikan, edikan, wanabaka. Miara, enyo, miara. Public Account Committee sitting on ase endedwe. Interesting revelations na popping up. And sika abeto gano when you see this $14.3 million paid for no work done. And how things are going, Former Minister for Communications, Honorable Eslowusu, Wansha Iyoko, ebe invited no. Former Minister for Finance, Ken Oforiatta, Wansha Iyoko, ebe invited no. No, when here Iyoko be invited no. Sasuna Bushia, eya certain asia, Honorable Sam George, meaning Sir Onumbe be testing bidia.
Honorable, I'm also a member of Parliament. Don't do this. Please, I am on the floor, Honorable. Honorable, you need to rein in the Honorable member. She's being unruly.
No.
You are being unruly, please. This is unbecoming of a member of Parliament, please.
Metrum from Genesis to Revelations. Masterwa, so we share video way. Now be share among your comment section. Follow Trends GH on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. Bebia Air Trends GH. So many misa will be say assemble partner Asia Kojo Black or si Obeche Chebuno. Public Account Committee and there. So, and that's certain Ministry of Communications, Innovations and Digitalization, Metro Honorable Sam George, on an apam for EcoPMO committee no enim. Eruna Bushia Public Account Committee Chairman, Honorable Abena Osei Asare, Oya former Deputy Minister for Finance, Ono na Oya Chairman, to send Americano. And Ochem say Honorable Sam George, Auditor General Oya Audit B. Na ehun krata na edemanimu. Na Honorable Sam George. In some your warm mentiasia, and intimi here in Chechemu. So, as I mean, say, Minister for Finance at forcing or check it in Kratamon document once and seven or chim say, on take in your maybe I see ye, everything, Auditor General, on running audits, Ministry of Communications, Honorable Esla Owusu Ekufu, na Odano. I don't know, Bushia Auditor General, Auditor, or no. Ebusha Ochem said, 2020. Communications Ministry no award contract say omoba constructed cyber security building enya no pe omoba sign a procure cyber security software contract na kasa no na enenam $50 million plus. So the then government no 2021 oma the Israeli company no NAFI Mrs. Mendana and Suzano $14.39 million eno yan twasie aban no Odema these two companies, So that $14.3 million, breakdown say that Ebano software developing Sikam to Asia Abayano, Edema this Israeli company, $10.9 million. And so Ebano building no swa the edifice Mrs. Mendana and Susan no Abay Emomo $3.4 million for that building. Nana Bushia Omuchem said Sasi kemienu a wokembo mu a edu $14.3 million no. Adia ewo ho from 2020 to date aban no betumi de nsa esinebo as work done for that $14.3 million no. Aya foundation. Eba no software developing krana that company no age $10.9 million na. Israeli company no rebusia. Omo your margin say software no kra no omu be develop it. So 2022 and these two companies essential letter and the command then Ministry of Finance say about that software developing now almost sounds to here additional 324 million Ghana cedis. And so Mrs. Mendana and Suza almost no almost constructed cyber security building now. Almost sounds to extra letter requesting 383 million Ghana cedis. Now we show apart from $14.3 million paid for no work done. These two companies are also additional 708 million Ghana cedis. And on Honorable Finance Minister at forcing Ochem say so and into Auditor General offer audit and so audit now audit shares no and on Honorable Sam George OKPMU ewo Public Account Committee na sia Public Account Committee omo chairman oye then former Deputy Minister for Finance Honorable Abena Osei Asare. Questions are Odibisa Sam George Eba ne saying these two companies are maybe more mudino. Omonye ejumano naso then government no etua $14.3 million. Emom. I want to Sam George Ochemu say. Nanka we no bakasa you and I were not there. Number no Honorable Abana Osayasare. At that time no now we are deputy finance minister. It be biania. What crane was in Bissau?
I am more worried than you are because this is public funds, and if the Honorable Finance Minister had not instituted this audit and it was just a matter of paying requests that were sitting, we may have gone down a certain route. The 708,153,501 Ghana cedis happens to be just one project. Yes, one. It's just one project.
One.
Yes. And that's why,
yes,
Chair,
so
I said I am deeply worried.
Yeah, I am too.
It has to do with the intention of the ministry dating back to about 2020, 2021 to construct a cybersecurity building and procure cybersecurity software. Chair, the reason I'm worried, or I said I'm worried, is when I took over the ministry, it was one of the first things I tried to look into. Because from my office, when I look out the window, I see the intended site for that building. Now, we had a claim that was made of 708 million Ghana cedi. However, already the government of Ghana has paid 14,336,738 US dollars. 14,336,738 million US dollars 50 cents. All the ministry has to show for that, Madam Chair, is the foundation of a building. That is all the ministry has to show for that amount of money that has been paid.
So the 708 million Ghana cedis, what was
is
it for?
Additional request
Additional
the ministry had made to finance to pay.
But this is a capital project.
Yes, please.
And for capital projects, you only pay what or the investment you have made into it.
IPCs
such
need to
that
be
if
generated.
it's a project, you raise a certificate to the tune of that that quantum of the work done before you are paid. So how come we are asking government to cough 708 million Ghana cedis for a capital project that hasn't been completed to the tune of 708 million Ghana cedis?
So further breakdown. The project was comprised of software and the building. Now, for the software, we had paid 10,930,069 million US dollars 20 cents, 10.93 million US dollars to an Israeli company called Rayzone Limited, and then 3,406,669 million US dollars for the construction to Mendana and Susa. 3,406,669 million 30 cents US dollars had been paid to Mrs. Mendana and Susa for the civil works construction. So it means that the foundation we see there, we had paid 3.4 million US dollars just for the foundation. And then there had been additional requests to the finance ministry that came to about another 383 million Ghana cedi, 383,966,90 million Ghana cedis, again on the building. Now, for the software, the ministry has not received any work or anything for the $10.9 million that had been paid, and there was an additional request of 324 million Ghana cedis still on the software. Because, Madam Chair, what I'm explaining to you here is we've paid, the taxpayer has paid $14.3 million. $10 10.9 for the development of the cybersecurity software, 3.4 million for the construction of the building itself. That's been paid. So that's not part of this audit.
Yes.
Now, this audit
Yes.
is because there were additional requests from my predecessor at the ministry to finance for an additional 324 million Ghana cedis to be paid on the software, and then 383 million Ghana cedis to be paid on the building. That is the outstanding 708 million that you see the audit flagging that we need to justify.
Minister, I want to get something clear.
Sure.
The software of 10.93 million.
Yes.
We don't have any evidence of the company providing it to the ministry, even though 10.93 million had been paid to the company.
I met with the company. I summoned
Yes.
the company from Israel when I became minister.
Okay.
And demanded to see work that had been done. They said they had done a baseline study and that they were waiting for additional payment before they go into the development phase.
Minister, do you have a copy of their contract? And what does the contract say in respect of payments to this? And Minister, those who facilitated the payments to that tune, what did they see to warrant that amount of payment? What invoices, what actuals did they receive or were they given to enable them push 10.93 million to the company?
Madam Chair,
This evidence should be at the ministry clearly if these amounts have been paid.
Madam Chair, getting the documentation has been like treading a needle. My chief director who sits here was director of finance at the time. A lot of the documentation ended up only at the minister's office, didn't even go down to the chief director's office. The Cybersecurity Authority has absolutely no documentation whatsoever. We've managed to pool a number of documents which we can make available to this committee. But, Madam Chair, to answer the specific question of what was seen before the 10.9 was paid, I would have said you and I were not there. I wasn't there, but you were there. You were the finance ministry. But it may not have come to you directly. But this was paid.
Did the audit say that this payment came from the finance ministry?
Yes, it was paid from finance.
No. In this, did they say
No,
the payment came from the finance ministry?
This audit did not deal with the 10.9 that has been paid already.
So,
But
Minister, I mean, let's be devoid of politics and everything. This is a very serious issue.
Sure.
And I want to get to the bottom of it.
Sure.
I was at the Ministry of Finance. This pertains to Ministry of what? Communication. So
yes.
let's speak to that. Devoid of politics, devoid of all the things that we want the TikTokers to carry around.
Oh.
But this is a very serious issue. 10.93 million for no work done, no evidence, as you are saying. It's serious. So, Minister, let's get to the bottom of this.
Madam Chair.
And then the 708 million.
Madam
Ministry
Chair,
of Finance.
you know that
and the
there
auditors.
is, because of your previous role, you know that there is no minister who can make payments on behalf of the government of Ghana without it coming through the Ministry of Finance. As Minister for Communication today, any payment I need to make, I send it to Finance. Finance validates it, approves it, and sends it to the Controller General, who makes the payment on behalf of the ministry against my ministry's votes. And so that's why I'm saying that this 10.9 could not have been paid from any other source except through the Ministry of Finance,
yes,
which
but
was done.
No, that is what everybody comes to say here. But I'm saying that definitely it's initiated from the Ministry of Communications. And that is why I am asking, there should be some level of evidence for Ministry of Communications to initiate these amounts from their ministry to the Ministry of Finance.
Madam Chair.
We work with the GIFMIS, and with these things, you need to attach documents. Finance Director, do you just get up and bring letters to Ministry of Finance to pay? Definitely, you would come with supporting documents. You heard the Ministry of Sports just leave here, and they had to confess that for one reason or the other, they were waiting for evidence that did not come, and then straight away, they sent it to Ministry of Finance, and the auditors flagged it. So I'm asking, there was no evidence of work done, there was nothing, and then this was pushed through for Ministry of Finance to pay. Then we all have a big problem in this country. We all have a big problem in this country. If this is how the payments were effected, we all have a big problem in this country. I was of the view that usually with capital expenditure, you pay for work done. So for the ministry to push through 708 million Ghana cedis when work hadn't been done, I also have a problem with that one. And maybe that is why the auditors flagged it and said they needed justification before we pushed this.
Madam Chair, so that
yes, Minister.
So that we put this in clear perspective, there are two separate issues that are before the committee here. The 780 million Ghana cedis, which has been flagged, 708 million Ghana cedis, which has been flagged by the auditors, which are requests for payments that were made from the Ministry of Communication in 2022 to the Ministry of Finance, were not paid in 2022, were not paid in 2023, were not paid in 2024. And when Honorable Atuforsen took over in 2025 and caused the special audit to be done, flagged it again and said, we are not seeing the required documentation to support that payment. That is one issue. The other issue is what has already been paid, which was paid in 2021. Part of those payments were done as under the consideration of advanced mobilization. But we all know that advanced mobilization should not exceed 15% of the contract volume. And so when you have, Madam Chair, if you please let me, if you have a contract where the whole contract sum, both building and software, is about $50 million. About 50 million, was in the region of about 50 million for the entire project. And already you are having 14.350 for the two, yes.
For the two projects.
For the two, for both software and hardware.
Yes.
For example, I have a letter here, which was dated 11th of August, 2022, from the Ministry of Communication, 11th August 2022, from the Ministry of Communication to the Honorable Minister for Finance. Heading, payment request, technical operationalization.
I understand that. So 1 minute, let me just.
Okay.
Now you are saying that the software of 10.93 million and then the civil works, it was because advanced mobilization was paid. But even that one, it was breached. So, I mean, yeah,
that's why I'm reading this letter, because that payment...
Because 15% should be about 7.5 million and not the 14 million that has been paid.
Madam Chair,
so even that one,
yes,
there's been a breach.
Yes.
With this, clearly, we'll have to refer this matter to the Attorney General for us to look at the milestones in there. Whether what warranted the payment of 10.93 million. Maybe there's, I don't know if
Madam Chair, I have written to the Attorney General because
yes,
as far as I'm concerned,
yes,
this is a matter that must be investigated for us to ascertain and possibly even recover monies that are due to the state for work that money that was paid for work that has not been done.
Maybe they defined the baseline in the contracts. But then, what does the baseline include? Does it involve Ghana giving away 10.93 million for what work done?
And I made a point clear to them. This contract was signed sometime in 2021. The technology they were offering the government of Ghana is obsolete today when it comes to cybersecurity. And when I asked for a review, they said it will come with additional cost. And so I have indicated that as a ministry, we are not willing to proceed with this.
Then the 708 million will not stand in the books.
Absolutely
the
not.
Would have to reject it outright.
Outright. Because we
yes,
don't intend to justify it because there is no justification for it.
You will have to reject it.
Yes.
So after this interesting revelations, we know, and on a public account committee, or my chairman, Honorable Abana Osai Asare, Osai Chim said, Honorable Sam George, Abana Sesiano, network I use to Ghana ha, MTNO, Telecelo, Airtel Tigo, you win your money here. Just say, Obijina won't check Krana or Frana. Queen, and you're not a young Comuswa Obatian. Just say, one session, no Batian say, Krum, Nakwana ende. Honorable Sam George, then na wo ya fa ho because Ghana for ye bre e wo ho. E wona Honorable Sam George, or start here say Oma access. And on the Public Account Committee chairman, Honorable Abana Osai Asare, wasia bem na Honorable Sam George, wasia ansa. Afide na baby a ekeka kono, ebusia kase heat. Enya class ketwa to the sense Sam George o chirema amamini behavior no eye unruly. Part to part, where a clash of the titans.
The poor quality of our networks. Minister, these days, it's very, very difficult to even make normal calls for 1-2 minutes consistently. So once you are here and we've had the opportunity to meet with you, I think we should bring this before you and then ask that you speak to the telcos, because it is getting bad, especially the biggest of them all, which you know. Thank you.
Madam Chair, thank you so much, and I share in the concern. In fact, the regulator carried out some work last year on the conditions, quality of service, and we engaged the telcos. This year in Q1, we issued a new policy directive on the standards that we use, the KPIs that we use to measure quality of service. And that was a policy initiative aimed at pushing the networks to invest in their network. In 2016, to deal with increasing growth in the market, MTN rolled out 134 new sites. And when we say sites, those are like what gives the connectivity, 134. In 2017, it went up to 352. In 2018, 300. In 2019, 352. In 2020, 200. 2021, 120. 2022, 343. 2023, 350. 2024, 30. 2025, which was last year, they did only 50 sites. With our directive this year, they are doing 800 new sites.
So, with all this that is going on, you ask MTN, the infrastructure that they claim they are building, the monies that they get from users, is it commensurate with the infrastructure that they are building? Absolutely no.
Madam Chair.
Minister, absolutely no.
Madam Chair.
I understand that, but you see, for them to sit and enjoy the increase in users and then wait and wait and wait over a period of time before the minister says, add on this, add on that. All these monies that they were enjoying,
Madam Chair,
couldn't they have on their own increased these user sites that you are talking about? This is not good enough, Minister. We expect something to be done, and we expect it to be done sooner than, they are talking about, because now it is really, really bad.
Madam
In
Chair,
my constituency, Minister, it's like you just cannot make an MTN call.
Madam Chair, we are dealing with a decade of rot and lack of action, and it will not be fixed. Madam Chair, if you will, it
Minister,
won't be fixed.
Just listen
in
to me.
6 months. I've
a
heard
decade of whatever it is, were they not being paid for the increase in users?
They were, but
They
there
were.
was someone who was also being paid to make policy decisions. It's
were.
a policy decision I have taken.
But as a private company on your own,
they are driven
you
by
look
profit.
at the quantum of monies that are coming in, and you don't even think that let me also improve my services to be, so that the users, the huge influx of users that are coming in, can at least enjoy not anything exceptional, but basic services.
Madam Chair, I do not stand here to defend any of the telcos. However, the role in which I sit here to serve the Ghanaian people. Whoever sits as MD of MTN is thinking of his shareholding and his profit margins. And as every private business, not just MTN, Telisa, every private business will look at what they need to do to maximize profit within the legal regime.
But you maximize
For me,
profit,
what
Minister,
I have, and Madam Chair, the point I am making is that
commensurate with service.
And that is why you have a regulator. Regulators have a role to protect the customer by taking policy decision. You had a decade where there was poor leadership over the decade, the average number of cell sites per year was 223 sites.
Minister,
and I'm saying
that,
to you that in this year alone,
and put blame on
Madam
policy makers or whoever it is. They themselves,
cannot,
as a company,
cannot
also
absorb,
ought to do. Yes, I'm saying it is neither here nor there, Minister. But all we are asking now is whatever has happened has happened.
Madam Chair, when
but
you ask
moving
the
forward,
question,
Minister, please, moving forward, we want something done. We want some actions taken, and the actions should be taken quicker than
Chair,
what they have told you.
Madam Chair,
Minister, that's all we are saying.
Madam Chair, but you need to listen to me.
I
Engineering is
what you
not
are saying.
sentiments.
Minister,
Engineering
it is not
sentiments.
about sentiments. It is about
giving a policy
in business. You look at the monies that are coming to you, and you ought to direct the services. The services that you are also giving. So that's all I'm saying, Minister. This is not monologue.
You've made
Ghanaians
your point. Can you listen
are
to me?
Sick and tired of the poor quality services that we are experiencing, and that's all we are saying, Minister. That is all we are saying. Maybe you think it is sentiment. It is not sentiment. It is the people of Ghana, the people in Etiwa East who are complaining. We cannot even make calls, and it's serious. So that's all I'm saying, Minister. All I'm saying is that whatever it is that you have put in place, let them expedite action because they are making so much in profits. When you look at their financial statements, you look at the profits coming from the Ghana company alone. It is so much money compared to what is coming from the other countries. And so we expect some level of services that will help all of us. And that is all I'm saying, Minister. Thank you very much.
Now, Chair.
Yes.
The point I'm simply making is that I won't sit here to justify anybody. But private businesses are about making profits. And those profits, they paid to you over 8 years at the Finance Ministry as corporate taxes. Policy decision and policy leadership ought to make sure that we took steps to protect the customer. And I'm saying that we, under this reset agenda and under a responsible government, have done so.
Minister,
800.
no,
Honorable,
Minister,
I'm also a member of Parliament. Don't do this.
Minister,
Please. I am on the floor,
Minister,
Honorable.
I understand.
Let me make my point. No, you won't heckle me. Don't play sentiment.
You, but we beg
Chairman,
you.
until and unless policy decision is making, Honorable, you need to rein in the honorable member. She's being unruly.
No,
you are being unruly, please. This is unbecoming of a member of Parliament. Please,
Minister,
stop doing this.
Listen, you don't have the floor.
No, I have the floor. No, so you have asked me a question. I have the floor. You will let me answer the question.
Minister.
No, you will let me answer the question. No, you won't do that, Abina. You won't do that today. Let me finish.
Minister, respectfully.
Let me finish.
This is our committee.
No,
you don't tell us what you want to do.
But you've not brought me here to talk down on me as well.
Nobody is doing that to you.
I listen to you,
Minister,
go on. You will listen to me as well.
Respectfully.
We have
can you turn off your mic?
We have asked them.
Respectfully, can you turn off your mic?
The chair gave me the floor, please.
Minister.
Minister. Respectfully. Don't do this.
This is our committee. Minister, respectfully, I understand.
So if it's your committee, then don't invite us. But if you invite
Minister,
us, you ask us a question.
Minister,
so if you ask us a question, you listen to us as well.
Minister,
it's not a monologue.
Respectfully.
So respectfully, let me land.
We will let you land. Just a minute.
Sites.
Minister, respectfully, we will let you land.
It's the same
Minister,
thing
we are not coming to repeat anything. Respectfully, we will let you land. Please. Minister, we understand you are in an important position. We understand the sensitive role that you play. When you come here and we address issues, it is not that we want to talk anybody down. Never. You and I, we go beyond this. We go beyond this. It is not that we want to talk anybody down. But Minister, the situation is serious. And that is all the sentiments I'm trying to carry across.
And that's the point I'm making. That serious situations require serious actions. We didn't see that for 10 years. And I'm saying to you that we've given a policy direction in January. On the back of our policy direction, MTN is rolling out 800 new sites. Telecel is rolling out 350 new sites. Between those two companies, you see 1,150 new sites. However, that's why I said to you that this is engineering and not sentiment. When you ask an MNO to roll out a new site, there are steps that have to be taken. First and foremost, you need to do the acquisition of the site. Then you need to then make the requisition for the radio equipment and the cell sites. Those are not things that are, for want of a better phrase, in a supermarket that you just go and buy. You place an order with an OEM. The regulator, the NCA, is going through this process. Most of the MNOs are receiving their BTA devices between July and August. So yes, we have made the request. We have asked them to take the steps. They have taken the steps, but it takes time for the equipment to arrive in the country. And when the equipment arrives and they roll out the improvement, you would see the improvement in the network. But we cannot sit here. After 10 years of failing to take action, someone is taking action, and then you say that you want to see it as quickly as possible.
How many of the sites are they building this year?
This year, MTN is doing 800 new sites.
Okay, so
Telecel is doing 350 new sites.
Okay.
So we're looking at 1,150 new sites this year. And I'm saying to you that over the last 10 years, from 2016,
yes,
the average has been 223 sites per year. And so if this year we are doing 1,150, we are doing a 500% increase to try and cover. And that's why I'm saying that, yes, we all go through the challenge. But I'm saying to you that you cannot will some of these things into being with a snap of a finger. It takes time. No. And so I'm saying that we gave that order in the first quarter of this year. Minister, it will take about 3 to 6 months. I am confident that by the end of Q3 going into Q4.
Class when I course so ended our public account committee sitting as I just said Honorable Sam George on the public account committee chairman. Metre Honorable Abana Osei Asare. A clash about a poor networker. Yes, we experience ewo Ghana Hana. Sam George Jrema Onoba ye Oyana Fumudia. But Nyo can question say Adiana a product that when the politics. Feel free. Natural word you want your comment section. One subscriber here. Kindly subscribe to Trends GH on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Bibia Trends GH. Macro.